Jacob.
Diego, you at the office yet?
I'm about to pull up. Where you at?
I had left like 10 minutes ago because I had to stop at the bank.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
So I'm gonna be like 20 minutes late.
Good.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Dark screens. Everyone's got dark screens. What's going on with the world? I can't see your faces. I don't know if you're alive. Oh, hi, Letha.
Driving.
Hi, Nicole. Hi, Diego.
Driving.
Hi, Jacob. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Tina. Hi, Charity. Look at you guys. I'm trying to channel my inner Steve Jobs today. Black shirts and jeans. Just trying to be as creative genius as I can. I think I need a turtleneck, but I have a 19-inch neck, so that's not a good idea for me. All right, it is 8:01 this Monday morning, and I want to hear some good news. Oh my God, Paige is awake, out of bed, dressed, and fully ready for the day. What is going on with the world?
After showing my client 9 houses, we finally got one under contract.
Woo! 9. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
those rookie numbers. 9.
crazy market out there. We put 5 offers in and finally got one accepted.
Are you really good at doing offers now?
I got a lot of contract practice, let me tell you.
Good. Someone else tell me some goodness.
I want to say my buyer signed the Binzer for my house. It's still full. She paid still full price. So I'm really excited about that.
We are through the Finzer and there's no deductions. I love it. That's a win.
Huge.
Huge win. Huge. It's the greatest win I've ever seen. It's the best win. It's the greatest win. It's the win of all times. You know I'm kidding, right? All right. Someone else, give me some wins. I got a contract. I got a Binzer.
I got 2 buyer consultations this week.
Woo! Diego scheduled 2 buyer consultations this week.
Dan, I mentioned to you I was working with a couple that had got a Zillow offer.
Yes.
So this was interesting, guys, because I showed them, what comps were, and really that we were going to be one of the lowest amounts in literally the whole northwest quadrant of Tucson. Zillow came in about 30,000 less, but they told them that it was market value. And so they were still going to go with them, even though I'd shown them the comps. And yes, they are already under contract on a house, but I was like, we're going to be able to close maybe a week later than Zillow's offering. Maybe 26,000 isn't that much money to you, but I was like, they were seriously still going to go with Zillow, even though I could show them that they were going to make more. Thank goodness he went and talked to the wife again, and they decided to list it with me. But it was really, I thought the numbers would just speak to it. And I had already said, I'll make it super easy. I'll have professional photographers in. We can just hold it open for a few hours each day, whatever's convenient for you guys, because the kid is working from, schooling from home. He's working from home. And, maybe we just hold it on the market for about 3 days and then say we'll take, review offers. And anyway, I tried to show them how easy it could be. And so just warning you that even when the numbers look like really obvious, you may still need to do some talking. And I haven't gotten to build a lot of rapport with these, but I don't know them very well because they literally came to me saying, hey, we want this one house. I put the offer in for them. And so I think, I don't know if that was a little bit of it, but I had a really good meeting with them last weekend and went over everything. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting because he's like, oh yeah, I've read how Zillow normally gives about 30,000 less, but I was really surprised that they were getting me market value. And when he said that, I'm like, are you listening to yourself? It's not market value, even if they use that word. So I'm like, they're going to resell your home. They're not giving you market value. Anyway, that's my little story.
Well, it shines what we say on Friday last week, right? It's not always money. Even though to us the numbers make sense logically, it's not always the money that goes behind it. So being able to peel them back off the money thing and get to the root cause. 2 things I heard from that story that really stood out. One is the fact that they weren't even thinking about the money. They weren't making a logical decision, which means it must have been what kind of a decision?
Emotional.
It sounds emotional, but it was almost like it was from ignorance because again, they don't know the market. They don't know how fast, even though I said I can get this market, sold on the first day if you want, but let's wait 2 or 3 and get the best offer.
Right.
And we will get this sold fast.
And the second part, you said you didn't really have that much rapport with them.
Yeah. I literally met them in person once. So anyway.
Can you make a lot of rapport real quickly?
Yeah. And I thought we did pretty well. But again, it's, people have a time to, percolate on, and then the husband hears one thing and the wife hears another and, whatever.
But when you're able to ask those questions, it's a good question answer thing. So being able to ask questions to help understand both parties is important because you're going to help build rapport. And then I'm super glad they decided not to go with Zillow because that would have been foolish of them for giving up $30,000 for a week. You can ask them that. Is it worth $30,000 for 7 days of delay? Like what? Exactly. So good. I love that. That's a win. That's a huge win.
And I thought he was really going to already go with me last week, which is why I got people out to give them bids on repairs so they'd know, what's going on. They're not too expensive a repair. Because I'm like, no one's going to ask you for $20,000 in repair. We got a bid for like the fascia that was like $600, $500 or something. Got someone out to check the roof and it was fine. So, I'd already done a couple things for them just to show them, hey, let's see how the house is looking. Zillow had also told them they were going to do $8,000 in repairs on the house, which just doesn't look like it's needed. I mean, again, the roof is like 5 years old. They've just had the HVAC service, anyway, I'm like, I'm not sure. And of course they're going to tell them that, but it doesn't mean the house actually needs $8,000 in repairs
No.
to sell it.
Mara, a personal thing, send me the contact of who you sent out for fascia. Big D needs it. My house has got some
Well,
holes.
and I warned them, because painters are backed up. The only painter I could get out, I said, this guy is not licensed or insured, so I can't really recommend him, but he can get out and give us a bid. So I don't know if you need licensed and insured, but.
It's my own house. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. I don't have time. Working with you guys is more important than me getting up there and using all the power tools that I bought over my lifetime that just are like decaying and rot in my garage. So.
Well, he'll be happy because he's maybe not. We don't know if he's going to get this bid because I'm like, you don't have to do the fascia right now. Just wait and see if a buyer asks for it. That was my other advice. So the guy who came out to bid, he's like, am I really going to get this job? Like, I can't promise that, but we do need the price before we can decide.
Yeah, send me his info. I'd love that. Thank you. Letha, I saw you threw your hand up.
Well, there was two things that I learned in my explorations this last week. First of all, there was a house for $319,000. We put in a bid with an escalation clause going up to $330,000 and were beat out by a cash offer of $3,059,900. It was asking price of $319,000. So I mean, Zillow might be here, but people are being stupid. I mean, literally, it went from $319,000 to $359,900.
40,000?
That's crazy. And then there was an open house we went to on Saturday, and literally there were cars parked up and down the road, and there were cops giving people tickets because there were so many cars parked where there was 30, 50 people. I thought we were driving up to a fair. There were so many people at this open house. So they're going to do so much better with you, Myra. The market's insane right now.
Right.
And that's actually what I wanted to talk about today is the scripting behind offers and balances, only because I had to use it this weekend on someone. So if you guys heard me, raise your hand if you remember me asking the question, if you lose your deal over $5,000 or $10,000, are you going to be upset? Right? On the phone, one of our agents calls me up and says, hey, Big D, we got this property. We want to put an offer on it. We'd like your opinion of what our offer should be. Do you think I'm going to give you a dollar amount? No. What question am I going to ask?
What do you want to offer?
Right? It's not my house. It's not your house. It's whose house?
Your client's potential house.
So we want to educate them to make a decision, but it's not on us to make that price there. So call up, say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this is Big Dan. Thank you so much for taking my call. Agent X had let me know that you were looking to get some information on this property. I want to know what your thoughts are. Well, we really like it. It's $269, blah, blah, blah. We were thinking of offering $275, maybe $285. Okay, well, what's important about $275 or $285? Well, we really like the house. We don't want to lose it. This is the 50,000th house we've lost. Okay. Great. Well, what's making you think 285? Well, we really like the house. We think the market's worth it. Do you think it'll appraise at 285? And I was, what's the address? I looked it up. I was like, that neighborhood is a strong neighborhood. It's got a lot of appeal. It's going to get a lot of traction. How aggressive do you want to go? Get the buyer talking. How aggressive do you want to go? Fantastic. How upset are you going to be if you find out that you offered 275 and it was purchased for 280? Very. Okay, great. So what would you like to offer? 280. Okay. If you offer 280 and it's been bought and purchased for 284, how upset are you going to be? Very. We don't want to lose this house. Okay, great. What's keeping you from going all in?
But what's all in? I mean, it could be 320.
Hold on, Nicole. Shimadana. So they said, well, we're comfortable going 285. Mind you, the house is listed at 269 to 285. It's a big spread on that price range. So I said, okay, if you're all in at 285, are you going to be upset if the house sells for 290? No. What have I just uncovered?
The highest price they'll go.
They're all in. Not mine, not the markets, not the sellers, the buyers. If we are representing our buyers to the highest and best of our abilities, it's by getting them to tell us what their all in is and then motivating them to do so. 285, right? All in, 285. No concessions, no BS, huge amount down. It looks good. The only thing that could make this deal better is it was a cash offer. That's it. It's that strong of an offer. I know that not all buyers can play that way, but being able to have that conversation, I inched them, I called nickeling and diming them up to that price at 285. Guess who won the contract? Oh, Robin just jumped on. It was actually her client. So, but that's the thing is she texted me, I don't know, late last night. She's like, we won over how many offers were on that, Robin? Like they looked at the house at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and they were accepting offers until 5 p.m.
We beat 11 other offers.
11 other offers. And had they gone in their original 275, not a chance. But they were comfortable up to 285. So I want you guys to get comfortable asking that question. If you find out it was, and you just change the number to be the next step, how upset are you going to be? Make it realistic. Create an emotional tie to the house, not logically. And then somebody says, well, I don't want to overpay. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're right. You haven't overpaid for anything yet. You haven't bought anything yet. Well, do you think it's going to appraise? I would never ask you to offer something I didn't feel like the market would subsidize. And in the event that it appraises low, you have some options. But at the end of the day, you haven't paid for anything yet. We want to remove future fear, right, from some aspects, but also create different kinds of fear sets. Going back to it, people will often run faster away from something than they do towards something. We just want to create a different fear set. The fear of what? Missing out. What is that? What's the term? Fear of missing out. So FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. FOMO is one of the most tangible emotional fears. You guys ever not been invited to a party and you felt really bad about it, right? That's FOMO. Charity's like, yeah, sadly, all the time. So let's go. I want a dialogue between a buyer. So someone be a buyer and somebody be a seller, or sorry, someone be the agent. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to encourage the client to increase their bid to what we think would be more advantageous for winning.
Can we go back and what were the terms that she won that offer with?
285, 3% earnest money, 10% down, conventional loan, not asking for anything.
So then obviously you're confident enough that it will appraise at 285, and what if it doesn't?
And those what ifs happen, those bridges get built. I have a game plan, but I don't create that fear set yet.
It's another negotiation.
So go ahead, Robin.
It's another negotiation when we reach that point.
The beautiful thing about this, and I'm talking on both sides of the tracks here, because as a listing agent and a buyer's agent, like you have to know what both sides of the track looks like. After 1 week on the market, what happens right now? If the house is still on the market after 7 days, what happens, Stormy?
Thinking about price reduction.
right? It's stigmatized. There's something wrong, right? There's something wrong with the price. There's something wrong with the property. Even though we as buyers agents know that this house is going to sell for $5, $10, $15, $40,000 more than list price, it's asinine. However, if they list the price that they're wanting up front, it's priced too high and they'll never get a bid on it. And then after a week, they got a reduction. And now we've already hit the downward slide. So once we're under contract, meaning that we've locked up the deal, we got a contract in hand, we are in escrow, we are walking down that path, and something happens 20, 30, 40 days later, even though the clock's not, not ticking on this deal, there's still a perception of something that's happened because it got under contract, fell out of contract, got under contract, fell out of contract. It's also stigmatized. So what happens in that? Who's done a deal on a house that's gone out of contract a few times? It's very difficult to talk to a buyer and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with this house. It just happened to fall out of contract. No, there's got to be something wrong.
On our open house this weekend.
Hey,
let me be stormy.
All right.
Oh, on our open house this weekend, the house had went in contract and then went out of contract a few times. Like it went off the market and back on the market a few times. And there was a lot of people asking about that.
Yeah, and Donna's done a great job on that rehab. It's a flip. It just happened to not work out. People out of town putting cash offers and exorbitant bids on stuff, and they fall out.
I usually say it's through no fault of the house. It's usually a buyer that didn't qualify, or like you say, someone just backing out.
Yeah, so when that happens, it re-engages a different kind of negotiation where we now have a lot more weight in the game than a seller that's just literally opening the gate for 4 or 5 offers at a time.
So it's better to list a house a little bit lower or regular market value, and then because of what's going on in the market, the price will just go up automatically because of how many offers?
I wouldn't say automatically, because we don't know if they're going to get multiples. I've heard of deals only getting 1 offer.
I guess it depends on if it's over the price point of the majority desired amount.
Yeah, if you price out of the market in that area, you're not going to get the traffic. If you price at market, you're going to get more traffic. If you price under market, you may create a feeding frenzy. Key term is may. Paige, stop yawning. This is ridiculous. I always catch you, don't I? But it's all right. I'm paying attention. But anyways, I want to go back to the conversation at hand, the scripting around. When we got somebody who's trying, put an offer in a house, I want a buyer that's a little reluctant. I want a buyer's agent that's going to help motivate them to offer more. Who are my participants? Who wants to be bold?
I want to be the agent.
All right.
I want to be the agent.
3, 2, Tina, do you want to be a buyer? You don't have to do anything other than be reluctant to put in more offer. Unmute yourself and let's go.
All right.
All right, Miss Tina, here's the situation. The house is on the market for $300,000. Easy number to remember, right? $300,000. You are willing to go up to $320,000, or maybe $330,000. Maybe. I like, because that's the thing. And Nicole, you know that the market in this area should be in that range, and you know that other houses have sold for $15,000, $20,000, and $25,000 over list. So you're trying to get Tina to go an all-in offer. And go.
Tina, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
How are you feeling about what we would like to offer on this dream house of yours?
I'm excited. I know it's a hot market, and I understand it's going for $300,000. What's your advice?
Well, first, I think we really need to think about how are you going to feel if you lose it by a couple $1,000s?
That would be difficult. How are the comparables going in the last few months on something comparable to it? Are they going up? Are people putting in bids going higher than what the asking price is? And how many days has it been on the market?
Definitely. The listing price is a suggestion to start. So what do you feel comfortable with starting at?
Well, how many days has it been on the market?
It's only been on one day.
I
It's
think
gonna go fast.
I really want the house. Let's go in at 10,000 over the asking price.
Okay, so if there's a multiple offers and you lose it by $5,000, are you gonna be upset?
I think I'll be okay with it, but since it's been on the market for one day, and I just like to put our offer in and see where we go.
How does 320 sound to you to solidify the deal?
Do you really feel that 320, 10,000 more is going to make the difference compared to what the comps have sold for?
I think we need to give it our best shot in this market.
Okay, I'll trust your advice. Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's get that contract written.
Ooh, I like that she went for the close. Awesome, guys. Great job, ladies. All right, group, what were some things that you heard that you liked? Give them some praise. Awesome. Silence. Perfect.
She talked to see how will you feel if you lose it for X more. So
Touch that.
the only thing was she said what 5,000 more, and I didn't know if
Yeah.
saying number would help. So we said
Oh,
number later, I think, like two, whatever it was.
Web page.
I was gonna say the same thing. I just like that she tied emotion to it rather than not making it just about the numbers, but how is she gonna feel if she loses it?
Right, and that's where we want to go to, is tying the motion to it. Now, some criticism, Nicole, if you want to take some constructive criticism.
yeah.
The way you asked, are you going to be upset if you lose it, is yes or no. It's a
Oh,
question. Taking that exact question, like Mara was saying, and said, hey, how would you feel when, not if, when,
got it.
you know, it's a tire.
Oh, yes, yes.
This is how it goes. Miss Tina, thank you so much for taking my call. What do you think about the property we just viewed?
I think the property is gorgeous and I really like how it's laid out and like the location. What do you think that we need to do to get this property?
Well, as we've discussed many times in our consultation, as well as looking at other houses, the market is extremely hot. We know that this house has only been on the market for a day now, and they've had a ton of viewings. You know, it's listed at 300,000. Very often these are going well above asking price. Where do you feel comfortable going?
Well, I feel like 10,000 should do it, but what's your advice?
Well, my advice is just give your best offer. If you're an all-in offer, that way you know that you put it all out there and you didn't leave anything behind and you're not wondering what if. So if we offer 310,000 and we find out that it was bought for 320, are you going to be upset?
You know, that is really close. And if we feel that going over 20,000 is it, I feel good about that. I really want this house.
Okay, so we're at 320, and how would you feel if you get beat by another $5,000 or $10,000?
At 20,000 over, I'm okay with that right now. And at 320 is my top offer.
All right, 320 is all in. So if you get purchased for 321, you don't care, you walk away happy?
Well, I'd be upset, but at 320, that's where I want to.
Okay, well, how upset would you be if it was sold for 325?
I feel that 325 is just going over our budget, and I think at 320 is where I want to hold.
Okay, so knowing that your budget's in line, we want to make sure that we keep that monetarily, accessible for you monthly. That change in payment around 40 or 50 bucks a month is over the draw.
I would entertain a counter offer, but at this time I want to stick at 320.
Okay, so you are comfortable knowing that the house buying at 320, if it gets sold at 325 without ever getting the opportunity for a counter, we're okay?
Yes, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, fantastic. Now, no other conditions. We're not going to ask for a home warranty. We're going to put all the money into earnest down payment. Everything's good?
Everything is good.
See? Notice how we solidified her answer so that we come back and say it was bought at 325. We've given her every avenue to change it.
Yeah, you asked her like 5 times.
I did, but that 310 number went away quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't even entertain
That too, because they can't turn around and be upset with you. Like if you're asking them that many times, they really can't ever turn around and be like, well, like you let me miss out on that property.
But another thing is with that page is also we are doing what we can to maximize our potential. And you've heard me say this 100 times. You want to make sure you give your offers the best chance to win. Whatever that, I can't tell you what the golden number is, and I can't tell you what the golden deal is, but what I can tell you is if you as a buyer client and a buyer's agent team, y'all work together, give your best opportunity for success, then you can't be upset. Then you know that you are throwing all in, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, we move on and we get something else. Just knowing some of your guys' client deals and talking to you about your deals out there, I know that you have put in offers that are, you know, $5, $10, $15, $20, $40,000 over asking price, getting really uncomfortable with the deals and allowing your agents, you're allowing your buyers a scapegoat. Turn it around on them. Did I give her a price at all?
No.
All I did is once she said a number, I repeated it. But she was the one that initially made a number. That's the hard step. We call it ladder stepping the offer up. Every time Tina made an offer, I reassured it. Is that your best? Is that where we're going to be? It's one of the best ways for you to anchor the decision. And then at the end, you wash away any other contingencies. And I did it quickly. No other seller paid items, right? No warranty, no closing costs, no jalapeno dipping stations. Because people get crazy with that stuff and it blows the deal. So I love it. Thank you, Tina, for being out of your comfort zone on that one. You are a perfect client. Stubborn as all hell, and I love it. But that's the reality. And one, it also helps us find their baseline. 2, their desire for the house. And 3, it actually ties the two of you together tighter. Because you are getting into the grit with them and you're like, listen, I'm here. I want to give our offer the best chance of survival. This is what I think it looks like. Based on the information I pulled, this is where we're at. Now remember, how would you feel if, and how would you feel when? 2 different question sets, right? One's hypothetical, creates a logic gap. How would you feel when we find out the deal was bought for $1,000 more? Are you going to be upset? She even in her mind even got upset. She's like, yeah, I'd be upset, but you know, I think it's pushing it. I bet if I'd have kept asking questions, I could have gotten her to do 321. But that's the thing. We started at $10,000 gaps and we went to $5,000 gaps, and then I could have done $1,000 gaps, and we call it inching their way forward. But that way, if someone offers 320 and you're at 321, are you going to feel the difference in payment at 321 versus 320?
No.
Yeah, $4 or $5.
If that, it's $50. What is it? It's $500 per 100,000. So that's 50 per 10,000. $5
$1,000, $3 or $4 or $5 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so just take out a Starbucks of the week.
Yeah, see, in that scenario, just because when you get into auction type stuff, 320 is such a big round number. I could see that as a potential other number that other people might offer. That 321 might have actually been a situation that could make the difference, just because it's that inch, or even 320, 500. You know, it's just that 320 is such a round number that I'd want to try. I think I'd want to beat that by a little something.
You're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, I love that, Larry. We call it bracket numbers. People search in brackets, and those are 5, 10, 15, 20,000 brackets. Larry's absolutely right. You throw 321 out there. Try doing that with some of your offers. If you guys have offers today or tomorrow or this week, throw that extra $1,000 on it. Throw an extra $900 at it. So We'll talk about the psychology of that later, but I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us Monday, guys. We got the question and answers at 8:45. If you have questions, we've got answers. Links at 1KWSA like that. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Renee.
Hi.
So, Tina, thank you for joining us. High fives, everyone. Yeah. All right. See you guys soon.